Can a 4-word text really revive almost any dead number? Well, watch and find out. Because it's so annoying when you meet a girl that you really, really like and it seems super on, you're texting back and forth, and then wham, out of the blue, she doesn't text you back. You probably start overanalyzing your last text and second guessing yourself and try not to freak out. And hopefully you don't send a lame text like, "Did I say something wrong?" Further sealing your fate of being forever ghosted. Watch to the very end and I'll give you my simple 3-step system to get her to reply back and the 4-word text that I send to revive even the most dead number. My name's Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and this is what to text a girl when she doesn't text you back.
I'm Matt. He has mastered the art of seduction.
Many boot camps encourage men to be assertive.
A woman wants to be turned on. We've done all the testing and we know what works. Berkeley psychologists found that receiving a text message makes people feel more connected and elevates their mood. No shock there, but this might surprise you that the open rate of SMS messages is 99%, yet the reply back rate is only 45%. Which is why I'm first going to give you 3 crucial tips that you need to start implementing right now anytime you don't get a reply back. Tip number 1 is don't stress out about it. So many guys freak out because they have one-itis. They're putting so much importance on this one girl that they're texting, and that if she doesn't reply back, then they're really affected by that. So instead, I recommend have at least 5, if not even 10 girls that you're texting. That might seem like a lot, but remember, it doesn't mean you're dating all of these girls. These are just girls that you're interested in and that you're trying to get a date with. You might only get dates with like 3 or 4 of them, but the point is if one doesn't reply back, you still have a few other options. And not only that, but make sure you have an interesting lifestyle, a cool lifestyle, at least have a job and other things that you're focusing on so that getting a date with this one girl or any of these girls that you're texting isn't the most important thing in your life. Make sure to have other things that are more important than girls. Now, it's one thing if she's your wife or a long-term relationship, but I'm talking about girls that you just met, that maybe you haven't even gone on a real date with. And just the fact that you're worrying so much about it makes you needy, even if she doesn't see that you're pacing around your apartment waiting for her to text you back. She doesn't see that needy behavior, but mentally you're still putting her on a pedestal. You're becoming more and more needy about this particular girl, and when you eventually do either write back to her, you might end up sending a really needy text, or when you finally end up seeing her, you've put so much investment and mental energy towards her that you might end up being really needy and push her away. Because the fact is, she might just be busy. Maybe she's on an African safari and she doesn't have any cell reception. Or maybe she saw your text and she had every intention to text you back, but she just didn't feel like it at that exact moment and then just forgot about it. One time I was hanging out with my girlfriend and she got a text from her best female friend, and she had every intention to text her back but just didn't feel like it in the moment. I forget, we were doing something else at the time, and she didn't end up replying to her best friend for an entire week. And that's her best friend who has a lot of value and importance in her life. So imagine you, the new guy in her life, you don't have that much significance, so she doesn't really have a lot of obligation to text you back. Remember, women base a lot of what they do based on how they feel in that moment. So she may not feel like texting you back, so what? Try again, and maybe next time she'll feel like texting you back. Which brings me to the next point, is don't text back immediately. What happens with most guys is they're texting back and forth maybe every 5 or 10 minutes. It's going great. It seems super on. The guy is getting super excited. Then girl just starts doing something else. She gets busy or she doesn't have cell service and the guy starts freaking out. 30 minutes have gone by. An hour has gone by. So he texts her, "Hey, are you busy?" And 30, 40, maybe an hour or two goes by, no reply, and he texts, "Okay, cool." Which obviously means it's not cool and that he's a little bit affected by it. Instead, I don't even do a lot of back and forth texting. I just use texting to set up the date, not to get to know each other and have all this banter back and forth. That just uses a lot of time, and you should have other things going on in your life, like I said before, instead of just texting girls all day long. So I recommend you send the text and you forget about it. You put your phone on silent and then you check it when you're free. Go about your day, do other things, be on your mission and purpose, and then when you're bored and relaxing, then you check your texts. And that will really help you from ever over texting her. And then if you don't get a text back, just wait a day or two and send another text. And I'll talk about those exact texts that you could send in just a second. And a good rule of thumb is if you send a text and you don't get a reply back, then just wait a day or two to text her again. Don't keep texting her and asking her what's wrong. Now, I understand if it's your long-term girlfriend, that's a little bit different. But again, we're talking about new girls in your life here. They should not be that important. And if you catch yourself stressing about some new girl in your life, do other things, occupy your mind, and one of the best things is get out there and meet more women so you have more options.